And now Eternia will be mine, He-Man.
That we need to end on that. That's it. We're done.
Spectrum Science Fiction presents the Spectrum Sci-Fi Show!
Hi and hello, and thank you for listening. This is the Spectrum Sci-Fi Show, the new version we like to call What About It? Tonight's episode, What About E3? Overall, I myself, Keith Baudry, and my co-host, Erin Dillon.
Hey.
I think it was something. It was E3 this year was something.
Yeah, it got off to a slow start. It was a slow burn up until probably Ubisoft when they came in, and then I mean, even to me, I don't care about Ubisoft really or anything they put out, but when Nintendo did their panel, that was probably my favorite, and that's probably what sold me on E3.
The Nintendo Direct format is always really entertaining. They have a lot of time to like edit those videos and stuff, which you would think the other press conferences would have been like, banging, super exciting and stuff, but no, it was really lull, like sleepy. E3.
Yeah, like Xbox suffered from that. Sony definitely suffered from that. Sony dropped the ball on this E3. I mean,
you think so?
Actually, I don't even think Sony got the ball to drop it. I think I mean, this E3 was just like, we're already top of the gaming industry right now. We kind of don't care. So I think that's kind of, I'm pretty sure that's kind of the mentality, because they were like, well, we kind of showed everything last year, but here's the crappy thing, and here's why Nintendo won in my book. I'll go ahead and just say this. Nintendo won because almost everything they showed, besides, the Metroid Prime 4 and things like that, was coming out later this year. Okay, yeah. See, I'm the type of person where if E3 is coming out, I wanted to show games that I'm going to be able to play probably within the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
I don't want games that are just like 2018, 2019, undisclosed time.
Well, hold on. Nintendo did that with Pokemon. They were like, "Oh, we're going to make a Pokemon game, but we literally just started."
Yeah,
pretty much what they
said. Out on the Switch, but before that, they're going to do Pokken Tournament, which was on the Wii U. Yeah. But of course, the Wii U the Switch is pretty much going to, I think, get most Wii U games.
All right, before we get into like the individual developers and stuff, I kind of want to go through it in order of like which press conference talked about what. So
okay.
So we're going to start off with Microsoft.
Okay.
Their press conference, and they had a lot of games to announce. What did you think of the Xbox One X?
Oh man,
deal?
I thought, honestly, I feel like, okay, so until 4K is a household format for everyone, I don't think it matters. I think, it's a powerful system. I mean, it'll do 4K, but to be honest, no one's going to pay $500 for an Xbox One and not have a 4K television. You know what I mean? Like, Of course, the elitist Xbox owners probably will, but I just do not see the point to doubling the price of Xbox One.
Yeah.
But then to get the maximum capability out of it, you have to have a pretty expensive television, which, I mean, it's just garbage to me. That's like, so you took all that time to be like, oh, well, we're already coming out with a new system. Oh, this, that. Turns out it's just the same crap, just more expensive, and does one thing more. Who cares?
See, I've never played a game in 4K, so I don't care. I don't know. Like,
I saw a music video in 4K once, and that was it.
it's just like, I watched, there was a few movies on Netflix that are in 4K, and my parents have a 4K television, and I was over at their house, and I played, I can't remember what movie I played, but if you're 10 feet away from your TV, it's like it's not a huge difference. Not the difference that it was between, like, when HD took over.
Standard?
Yeah, in standard definition. Like, that was a huge jump. The 4K thing is just not that significant.
Yeah.
But moving on, we're going to talk about the games. Obviously, I think we both agree that the Xbox One X is a little bit of a redundant kind of
lame.
Yeah. It's overpriced to pay for what? What are you paying for? You're paying for the same game in higher definition?
Yeah.
Like that's,
and that's even if they make the game compatible with like 4K and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sounds wrong to me, but one of the big games that they talked about that is going to be in 4K is Metro, the new Metro game. Did you see?
I didn't think people cared about those games because I mean, I played the first two. I know it has its little fan base, but as far as like a big fan base, I really didn't see it. I was just kind of like, oh, it's a survivor, first-person shooter, horror.
Yeah.
Crap.
So
I mean, both of them are whatever, and then it gets into some weird stuff too, man.
Yeah. There were like crazy beasts and stuff. Like
yeah, beasts, and then I think at one point, I don't even want to say it because it might be spoilers.
And it looked, the trailer they showed, the gameplay trailer looked really good. It looked fantastic, but it's just like I don't play games because they look fantastic. I just want them to be fun.
That's exactly it. If you're too focused on making the game pretty, gameplay suffers, something suffers.
Yeah,
it's trade-off. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, just because the word trade-off is in economics doesn't mean it's not applied everywhere.
Now, where I think 4K is really going to matter is in the PC world, where people are all about like the latest and greatest, and they're like constantly moving along with everything. Which, again, this was kind of a Windows-oriented press conference as well, it being that it is Microsoft. So
yeah, definitely.
Now, moving on, there was, I think, one of the best things that Microsoft showed off during E3, their press conference, was Assassin's Creed Origins.
I wish that came out right after Black Flag, because I would care.
Yeah? You think it's too far removed?
Well, they had a crappy game in Unity, from what I hear. I didn't even want to play it, because I thought Black Flag was it. I was like, oh, Black Flag is the greatest one. How are they going to surpass it? Unity came out, everyone hated it, and I was like, well, thank God I didn't pick that up. Then, which one came out after it? Syndicate? Was it Syndicate that came out after Unity?
There's
one
so
like,
many, man.
London or whatever. It was in London.
Yeah.
I never played that, but there were a lot of complaints that it was. I don't know. It maybe got out of the mythos of the Assassin's Creed world a little bit and kind of just delved into things. But anyway, Assassin's Creed, I really don't care for the historical fiction stuff.
Yeah.
I love history.
Yeah.
But I don't care about there being this dueling assassins or Templars and you're either or and
I think the most
and then like all that stuff. I was like, that's so stupid. Why don't you just say, here's a machine, you can see what your ancestors did, and that's it. It doesn't have to be about a golden orb that's like mystical and has controlled world, the apple of Eden and crap. Like that's oh gosh, I hate that stuff. I don't even know if they're even using that crap anymore in their storytelling. But
this is supposed to be the origin of it all.
Shut up! It's going back further.
Yep, it's going all the way back.
I don't even.
The first ancestor.
The
the first ancestor that founded the whole Assassin's bloodline. It's going all the way back to him. I think the video games themselves are repetitive and boring.
Yeah, they are.
Now, but I want to say that this game looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the idea of a game that you can play in like ancient Egypt. That sounds so cool to me.
That's pretty cool. But I wish they listened to the fans and they were like, "Guess what, guys? Feudal Japan." and you get to be samurai.
Oh, that'd be sick.
With katanas diving down on people and like, I mean, you can do anything. Like,
ninjas.
I think that's
what. Oh man, that's sick. So Assassin's Creed Origins looks good, but we probably won't play it.
I won't. I'm not gonna put money on that. Yeah. And I mean that's. No offense to anybody who does, obviously, because there are a lot of hardcore fans.
I won't even watch the cutscenes on YouTube for that one. Like, I just thought the trailer was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, trailers will sell you on a game, and then when you get the game, you're like,
"Oh shit, man!
Oh crap!"
One thing that I thought was cool was this game called the Darwin Project. It kind of slid under the radar, but it's like.
I haven't even heard about this.
It's a multiplayer. It's a multiplayer only game, kind of like third person. It's over the shoulder kind of. You customize your character, but it's done in like a battle royale format. So it's only multiplayer, and I think the most interesting thing to me was that it's integrated with like platforms like Twitch and Mixer in such a way that the people watching can affect the game by buying upgrades to a certain character, almost like Hunger Games.
But using real life money or in-game money?
I think real life money.
Oh, that sucks. So it's pay to win?
Something like that, but the audience is paying to help their favorite character
Twitch
win.
Twitch audience is like donating money to make you stronger?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Right?
But that profit goes to the company who you just got the game from unless the game is free.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know where the money goes or how it was. All I know is that during the match, there was like a faux announcer on stage announcing the whole thing. And he talked about how the Mixer audience mixed it up by adding a certain power-up to one character, and it just sounds like Hunger Games to me. That sounds cool, man.
Yeah, no, it's a cool concept, but I think unless they have that money stuff figured out, it might sink that ship. Yeah. Just saying, because I mean, people on Twitch, they're all about like, hey, I got my subscribers, I got my money. You know what I mean?
Where's that money going? Yeah. Where's that money going?
I mean, it's kind of what YouTube's going through right now is a bunch of money issues with monetizations and all that stuff.
Totally. Okay, so another game that I thought was pretty interesting was Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Fighters.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that one?
Yeah. Well, I think it's Fighter Z, just gonna say.
I like Fighters.
Fighters tournament.
Yeah.
I liked it because I like Dragon Ball Z, and I'm a stupid fanboy for it. But no, it had a really interesting look. Of course, it looked like it was almost like a direct descendant of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It very much just looked like a Street Fighter engine with Goku and Frieza's and Cells. And
it looks brutal, man. It looks so fast.
It definitely looks fun. They try to do the thing where it's Street Fighter graphics, but they do big moves on screen, like the Kamehameha takes up half the screen or something.
There's so much particle effects. It's like, how can you see what you're doing at all?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. That's definitely one to check out.
Yeah.
Z Fighters for sure.
Now,
Fighter Z.
What I'm wondering is, are those the only 6 characters, or do you think there will be a huge, like, 12 to 15 character roster?
Well, in the world of gaming as a service now, as opposed to just games, games are just games. They're now services because you buy a game and it's like, oh, well, we have disc lock content, DLC, or we have downloadable content, DLC. So whichever way you want to look at it.
Early access betas and open betas and alpha play.
I don't care. That's what I don't like about current gaming is that crap.
Is that it's an ongoing project.
EA took a hint with Star Wars Battlefront 2 saying that all the DLC is going to be free at that point. Because last year with Battlefront 1 or whatever on that season pass alone was another $50 or $60, wasn't it?
I think so, man. I don't know. I never got into
bought it, but I bought it when it was like $15.
Yeah. See, I never got into the Star Wars Battlefront thing because I wanted the single player campaign.
Yeah, I'm
But we'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that. Moving on, one trailer that really kind of blew me away and has me excited for the game that I probably will buy the game. The Last Night. Have you seen anything of that?
No, I did not see anything about that.
The Last Night. It is gorgeous. So it's kind of a fully realized world, like cyberpunk, futuristic type world, with realistic lighting and gorgeous kind of scenery all around you. But the character animations are all pixels. They're pixel characters in this almost realistic world, and it looks gorgeous. It's kind of like it looks like it'll play something like Metroidvania meets like Heavy Rain.
God.
Like Heavy Rain.
I love Metroidvania games, and it's funny that you said Metroidvania because when I was driving in the car to come back to the house to record this podcast, I was thinking like, man, I love Metroidvania games. I love Castlevania. I love it. and it's going to segue into a later topic we talk about here whenever we get into the Nintendo segment. I was going to mention a few things about that. But anyway,
awesome.
I mean, that sounds cool so far as you described it. The Last Night?
Yeah, it looks awesome, man.
K-N-I-G-H-T?
N-I-G-H-T.
Oh, they got me.
Yeah, The Last Night. And it's about, I was watching a video after the fact about the game, and it seems like it's about a future where every job that a person could have is automated. There's an AI that does it. So what people have become, they've turned into, instead of creating things, they consume things to define who they are. It's all about what they buy.
Sounds like WALL-E.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But the game looks so unique and just gorgeous. And oh man, you definitely look that one up. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that for sure.
Cool.
There's another few games. State of Decay, another zombie game.
Yeah, that was a zombie game that came out a couple of years ago, but they're making a 2, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I played 1 back on the original Xbox 360 Live Arcade when it came out, and it was fun, I guess. But see, I'm kind of the person where zombie games never thrilled me. For one, maybe because I'm overly frightened of zombies.
Yeah, see, I
don't know.
I wasn't too interested in it. I thought the coolest mechanic of it looked like you could set up a camp, and it was almost like The Sims in a zombie world. And
right. Yeah. It's sort of like that. Well, actually, I haven't even two may be different than 1, but from what I remember with 1, it was kind of a little. Can't even think of the word, civilization, or something like that. You know what I mean? You start building around it and stuff, but you're one person, I think, or something.
Yeah, and I think that looked cool to me, kind of like building a place to live inside of like a post-apocalyptic world. That's the same kind of attraction. Yeah, that's the same kind of attraction that brought me to Fallout, man. I love that shit. But moving on, another game that looked. Not that I would play it, but it looked hilarious. It's called The Artful Escape. It's got obvious, 80s roots. Like, everything is really bright and pink and rainbows. And the guy has his main weapon, it looks like, is a, some kind of electric guitar. He plays it weird. Yeah. So that one looks alright. Another game called Code Vein. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
It's anime vampires. but it
That's
feels
interesting.
But it feels like a Bloodborne game. It looks like to me.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. You can like transform your characters into weird Tokyo Ghoul looking stuff with the weird mask.
Sweet.
So yeah, it looks cool. One thing they spent a lot of time on, Microsoft did, was Sea of Thieves. Have you heard of that?
I have seen that.
They spent.
I don't care.
They spent so long talking about it.
They've apparently been talking about that game for a couple of years.
Yeah,
and
it's by Rare. It sounds like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean that's cool and all, but the way it looks.
Yeah.
It was like for a game that's been in the works for like years. Why would it look like that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But pirate games seem to be in this year, so
maybe this is. They should reboot Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Skull and Bones is one that we'll talk about. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. But another game that I thought was interesting that I liked was Tacoma. It's a sci-fi adventure game.
I feel like I've heard of that. I feel like I heard that name. I can't put an image in my head with it.
Tacoma, Tacoma. It looks like a sim type game, like you simulate your space life.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for that sort of shit. Like
space.
Yep. Anything space, I'm extremely interested. You got me. You hooked me. Let's see. Another game that I really like that I want to see more of from Microsoft. They just presented a ton of games, dude. Microsoft did. Another one was Ashen. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing where the apocalypse is kind of magical in that all the light has left the world and darkness has returned, and there's all these crazy monsters you have to fight with you and your wife. It looked like it looked pretty
cool.
Yeah, it looked pretty sick. I hope that one doesn't stay an exclusive because I don't want to have to
get an Xbox One.
Get an Xbox One X to play the damn thing, because otherwise I won't. It looks like Cuphead. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, I have heard of Cuphead. I am excited for Cuphead.
Cuphead is releasing September 29th.
Oh, wow.
But it is a Windows and Xbox exclusive.
Dumb.
Right? I've been wanting to play that desperately for so long.
Whatever.
But, so there's that. I hope it doesn't stay an exclusive forever. I can't imagine it will. I bet it's going to sell like crazy.
Yeah, I know it will. Oh, God, that sucks. Whatever. Okay.
Another thing, Crackdown 3. I remember you had Crackdown, I think, way back in the day.
Yeah. Crackdown 1 was very fun back in the day. Didn't really care for Crackdown 2. I didn't play that as much. Crackdown 3... a lot
of Terry Crews.
yeah, Terry Crews is a playable character. It's hilarious. But I was seeing something about that they kind of redid Crackdown. Like, it's going to be something different than what it's been in the past.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I saw the announcement, and Terry Crews made me laugh.
It's. I mean, that game's way over the top. I mean, like, you can, like, back in when it used to be out, you could, like, upgrade your jumping ability. You jump way higher, run way faster, pick up cars, your strength. I mean, it was just cool. And your guy, like, bulked up, got weird hairdos, like mohawks and all that stuff.
That sounds awesome. Cool. So pretty much talked about everything Microsoft had to say. There was a few more. One that was like a gorgeous side scroller called Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Cool.
It's a really pretty side scrolling game set in like a magical forest. It looks like you play a glowing white fox. I don't know.
There's a game. Hey, cat. There's a game.
That's Charlie.
There is a game on PlayStation where you're a glowing white fox in an Eskimo village.
Yeah,
very pretty.
I think Ori and the Blind Forest was the one before this one.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So that looks gorgeous. I want to see that come to the Switch. But who knows? We'll see.
Look at you. You own like everything.
Yeah, except an Xbox.
Oh God, I don't own an Xbox. I want a Switch, but I just haven't I haven't. I don't know.
They're so great, dude. It's so much fun.
I know.
It's so much fun.
I can't wait till we get to the Nintendo topic.
So, Anthem, I guess, is what they closed out with. Microsoft did.
Oh, okay. I did see some gameplay of that.
Anthem?
Here's what I'll say. It's BioWare's new IP, you know, the people who made Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
It feels just like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It looked like Mass Effect, like this new one that just came out, Andromeda.
Yeah.
It almost felt just like that, except a little bit more open world. But I can't tell if it's really going to be more open world or just you can do other things like go swimming.
Yeah.
You know, because Mass Effect, you could of course say, "Oh, that was open world," but it's kind of linear.
I think the biggest push that they're going for is they're trying to make it a game that you can play with your friends online. So it's like a Mass Effect world, but Destiny kind of play. In that it's.
I guess that whole MMO on the console thing is what's really taken off, and I mean Destiny, of course, did it, but. You know, there are some free MMOs out there for the PlayStation 4 and probably the Xbox, but Neverwinter Nights, Star Trek Online, stuff like that. I haven't played that stuff, but an MMO I did play on the console that I loved was the Elder Scrolls Online.
I've heard a lot of good things about that one.
Oh my gosh! And the expansion Morrowind just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
I gotta get back into that. I loved that game.
They announced it at E3 and said this is available now.
God, I love that game. It was so fun. I sunk so many hours into it.
So that's about it for Microsoft. There's a few games there that I was pretty cool. That I thought was pretty cool. Tacoma, Ashen, The Last Night, maybe Anthem. We'll see what we learn more about it. Now, moving on, I've got Ubisoft.
Okay. A lot of people agreed that before Nintendo showed their segment that Ubisoft basically won E3, but I don't know.
It's just because of the fun of it. Where's the fun in the games, man? Like, you just show a bunch of games that, sure, they look great, you know, they sound cool on paper, but where's the fun of it, you know? Where's... I want something that's going to be enjoyable to fucking play, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not just... Oh, it looks so real. Who cares?
I'm the type of gamer where I don't want it to look real. I want it to be a game.
Yeah, I mean
that's the whole thing. Is because then the game does not suffer. The graphics suffer, sure, but really, who gives a crap? Use your imagination.
Mm-hmm. So Ubisoft, they started off, I think, by announcing Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom
That's
Battle.
Cool.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's basically Mario with a Mega Man Buster.
Yes.
Facing Rabbids.
Yes.
Rabbids or whatever, which are from Rayman. Am I getting that right? Rayman.
I have
Rabbids?
no idea where Rabbids are from. I know they are their own thing now, though. I think they have a TV.
Yeah.
They have a TV show. They have their own video game. They've got. Yeah, it's really interesting shit. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I don't even remember where they came from. I wanted to say they were in Rayman, but to be honest, I don't know. But anyway, that's cool to mix things like that, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's kind of like
a new license.
It looks like a turn-based strategy game. Which
I'd be interested in seeing where it goes.
So excited for it. I'm gonna buy it outright, probably. Honestly, I might even pre-order it tomorrow. I don't know. Some other things Ubisoft announced: Transference. Did you hear anything about that?
No.
It's a VR game where you are living out someone else's memories.
Assassin's Creed?
Well, sort of, but it's kind of like set in the future, and Elijah Wood is the announcer of the trailer.
If I can't play Frodo's memory.
Oh, that's hilarious. That one looked cool. It looked really creepy and weird. So that would be nice to see more from. Again, VR is really in right now.
I have a little bit of a debate for that, but I'll save it for the Sony segment.
Okay. Skull and Bones, another pirate game that looks like they took the Black Flag pirate mechanic, ship mechanic, and they made a whole game out of it.
That's cool, but I think Assassin's Creed had it best because it was a part of the whole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be honest, it was the selling part of the whole. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's what really made me like Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the sailing, the boating, and all that stuff was just cool. And I actually have a fear of water. I have an extreme fear of drowning, but to live through it in a video game where I ain't got to worry about it.
I know, dude. Whenever I was a kid playing Mario 64 and that underwater level where, like, you're Metal Mario or something, and you had to go get the air bubbles to survive. I was like claustrophobic. I felt like I was about to die, suffocate, just playing the game. Memories. But moving on, Skull and Bones. It looks like a redundant kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure people will get into it and enjoy it. Probably not me though. Another thing they announced for the Switch: Starlink, the Battle for Atlas. Have you heard anything of that?
No. How have I not heard of any of this stuff?
This game looks ridiculous. Like, it's a space battle game in the vein of, like, maybe Star Fox. But all the ships you use are bought in store. Like, you have physical ships that you buy, and there's, like, an extra... Yeah, you connect them to your controller. And
amiibos?
Sort of, but you buy the ships and you can connect them and build them the way you want and then plug it in and that's your ship in the game.
So kind of like if Lego partnered with Ubisoft for
like Skylanders, have you heard of that?
Yeah, Skylanders,
Something like that. It's called Starlink.
I want that stuff to take off. I mean, the most successful thing that I've seen so far is, of course, the amiibos because it's...
Nintendo.
It just spices up a pre-existing game or a game that they've created that even without the amiibos you would have fun with. But the downfall of the Spyros and the Disney Xfinities. I mean, look, Disney Xfinity went out of business. That game stopped being supported. But anyway, games like that, you get those toys and you play it, but you play the same level with just a new character who has whatever moveset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work, but I think, Nintendo's onto something with the amiibos. But I really want those toy line things to the video games to take off because the idea of finding the chase figure to get the part of your ship that you need is awesome. I mean, that, and then you have it, but no one else has it in the game. And I mean, it's just cool.
Like honestly, I probably would go crazy for something like that. As long as the game is fun. I would love to have a big-ass collection of little ships that I plug into my game.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. To have just figures around.
Yeah.
I mean, toys are
just
awesome.
Just a whole bunch of little spaceships, just sitting all around. It's like, I want to play with this one today. Plug it in, and and that's my starship. Oh, my God. That sounds awesome. Another thing Ubisoft announced that was probably, took the cake, Far Cry 5. They announced.
Yeah, looked decent. I mean,
the initial trailer they showed made me feel like it's going to be a whole bunch of rednecks.
It is, and I mean, this is the first time I think it's taken place in the United States, which I think is pretty cool. The only thing I don't care for, and I've never cared for this even in as a youth growing up, but the interpretation of Deep South people.
Yeah, it's always the same.
We're all like that.
We're
just
savages.
because we say y'all and we live in the Bible Belt, we're supposed to be yokels.
We're
side-jawed yokels, just in cults and stuff like that. And
we're
I mean, granted the game's about a cult or whatever, but that's the only thing is, there's already a stigma being from the South because you say y'all and you got twangs and you wear boots and I don't need a game reinforcing that idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, there are way more southern states than what we have in Georgia, but
True.
Still, I mean, like, just, you know, I've even heard that stuff when I was young, is it's just like, we're so misrepresented in the South.
Truth. Okay.
But isn't that everywhere? Everyone misrepresented.
So, Ubisoft closed out their press conference with an announcement for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, that's a series that has a lot of dedicated fans, and to be honest, I never played the first one because I remember always seeing it, but I never thought the characters were cool. I didn't think the warthog guy, the pig guy was cool.
I did.
I mean, like, honestly, I don't know anything about the series at all.
I don't either. All I know is that it's been the second one has been in development for 10 years. I think the first one came out on PS2. And I have heard a lot about it, like you said. Apparently it's a fantastic game. It's a critical darling.
Yeah.
But to see the announcement trailer, it made me want to play it, even though I've never seen anything like it before.
Wasn't the announcement trailer just pre-rendered, cutscenes that they made or something? It was not the video game?
It was just CG footage.
Yeah.
But it looked like the Guardians of the Galaxy of video games. So I would definitely get into that. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. No words. No words. You shut your mouth. So coming out of that, we've got Mario and Rabbids, maybe that Transference game, the Starlink game, Far Cry 5, and Beyond Good and Evil 2 from the Ubisoft press conference. Moving on, we're going to go into Bethesda.
A lot of people liked that panel, too.
I thought it was extremely disappointing. Mainly because I wanted a Fallout 5.
I don't give a crap about Skyrim anymore.
I know. Why is it the greatest game of all time? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know why that is a game that has to be ported years later.
I know.
Years when the relevance is gone.
Everyone calls it one of the greatest games ever made. And I'm just like,
it's Skyrim. Like that's the only thing I know how to describe it as. It's an Elder Scrolls game. You know, and cool, I guess. I mean, yeah, you sink in millions of hours, and it's just like a Fallout game.
See, it never hooked me. I got about 8-9 hours into the game, and
I mean, don't get me wrong. I spent 2 summers screaming at dragons, but that's, I mean, that was fun, but that's it. You know what I mean?
Literally screaming because you have a battle shot.
I don't. Yeah, or whatever it was. But yeah, I just Skyrim after the fact. I just don't care. Especially going to the Switch, and even with the Amiibo access, I'm kind of like, eh.
Which, so they announced 2 VR games, and then, or maybe more, but 2 that matter. And then Sony later announced another one of their games as VR. So, as far as Bethesda goes, Fallout 4, Doom, and Skyrim are all coming to VR platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you put it that way, they're kind of leading the VR charge. Bethesda.
I'm just going to go ahead into my VR spiel. I'm not even going to wait for the Sony panel.
Do it.
Okay, so the problem with VR, and of course I don't have the numbers for all VR systems, but here's what I will say. Most people will say that Sony is leading the forefront of VR. That's one of the most sought after VR headsets, right?
Yeah.
They've only sold 1 million VR PlayStation units.
In a year, though.
They have sold 60 million PlayStation 4s.
In 3 years.
But here's the thing. They are creating these games for 1/60th of the fan base.
Yep.
That's a problem.
I wish you could see his face right now.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm sure if VR ever the VR has been around for so long. I mean, with theme rides from freaking Six Flags. Back in the 90s, they were doing VR. And even before that, they were messing with VR and stuff like that. That's been around for a long time. people just don't care about it.
Because it's so isolating.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the VR idea is cool and stuff like that. Of course, the only real game there is for VR that isn't just like a mission or two or something is Resident Evil, the newest one, 7.
Yeah.
I played that and I beat it. I can't even remember the number.
It was 7.
Yeah, 7 was fun, but of course that was the biggest VR game that they have made, for it. But anyway, the idea of showing this stuff off at E3 being like, this is it, for 1/60th of your consumer base is kind of annoying, okay? Because I'm telling you what, they ain't going, just because of E3, they're not going to sell 59 million more headset VR units. Because for one, they don't make that damn many, because every time you ask about the VR headset, they're like, we just sold out.
Yeah.
We only got 3 in, though. So, I mean,
see, I don't understand why they're pushing it so hard and why they want to convert everyone into VR games. They're not
it's
even...
so stupid.
They're kind of nauseating.
Don't get me wrong. VR, I guess, to me, it's a gimmick. It's not video games. It's just a gimmick of the video game, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Of course, being able to put your hand in front of your face and go, I'm climbing a wall. I mean, that's not video games, though. It's just like a gimmick where when you've done it for 5 minutes, you're like, okay, time to get the hell out of here.
It feels like whenever PlayStation 3 came out a long time ago, and there were a few games where you had to use the DualShock to aim stuff or turn your thing. It feels like an entire game full of that bullshit. That's a VR game.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me.
I hated that crap in some games. It was
I know.
Shake your controller. I was like, I don't want to do that. Because I don't even think of that as a way of getting what I want done.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? When you're like, your flashlight ran out of battery, smack it, and you got to smack your controller against your hand. I'm like, this is ridiculous and stupid.
There's such a disconnect there, and it throws you out of it.
Because it almost takes you out of it a little
Absolutely.
bit. It's like you're walking through the deep and dangerous path, the dark one, and your flashlight goes out, and it goes, shake your controller. I'm like, okay, well, now I know I have a controller that's bullcrap and not real.
Yeah. That's the thing with VR, is that it's hard. You can't, get immersed in this world because the control scheme just isn't there yet. It's just not there.
Yeah, and of course it's cool to have a screen this close to your eyes and then have a controller in your hand.
Wow!
Yeah. Looking like Stevie Wonder playing a PlayStation 4. It's just whatever. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm not sold on it. Some people may be sold on it, and more power to you. You get more headsets to own, but you can have mine.
Awesome. So moving on. We might talk about VR later, but moving on, Bethesda also announced a DLC, a story download for Dishonored 2.
Why is E3 taken up by DLC?
Right? Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. I thought that was the best thing Bethesda announced. They also announced Wolfenstein 2.
A lot of people went crazy for that, and they're bringing that to the Switch.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yeah. I played Wolfenstein 1.
Bullshit. That's not coming to
It's
the
just a Wolfenstein game.
Bullshit. That's not coming to the Switch. I don't believe you.
That's what they said.
I don't believe it. It's all bullshit. It's lies.
Doesn't it feel so good to be able to say bullshit?
Yes, it does. I couldn't say that on my previous radio program. If that comes with a Switch, I'll play it. If not, I won't.
Yeah, really, I don't care. Wolfenstein's cool and all.
I'm not interested at all. I don't care about Nazi Germany or anything like that. I don't.
At this point,
I don't care.
If you're not Indiana Jones, I don't care about Nazi Germany.
Yeah, I don't want to run around shooting Nazis. It's weird to me. It's just weird.
Well, it's because it's been done since 1940.
Yeah, and then that Black Ops movie had Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
Black Ops game,
yeah.
But Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider, that looks pretty cool to me. I still haven't played Dishonored 2. I do want to. That's on my to-do list. So maybe I'll pick up like a complete version of the game later on whenever they're done. Yeah. Whenever they're done adding content to it. So that's all I got for Bethesda. We're gonna quickly talk about EA. They didn't really announce anything that I care about. Obviously, they announced their sports staples: Madden 18, FIFA 18,
Next.
NBA
Next.
Live 18.
I'm already on FIFA 19. What you talking
about? They announced Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that?
Well, I'm a Star Wars fanboy. I'm gonna get it, of course, because of course.
Yeah.
I can't pass up playing a really good-looking Stormtrooper.
Let me tell you what I want. I want a freaking Star Wars game that's just a Street Fighter game. I want to fight.
They did that once on the PlayStation.
I want to fight with Darth Vader. I want to fight with Darth Maul. Why is that so hard? I want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and swing my lightsaber and do crazy input moves and combos.
They did that once on the original PlayStation. I forgot what it was called. Force Arena or Force Battle or something.
I need that game.
Black-suited Luke, and you could play a Gamorrean, and it was just like, it was a bad 3D fighter. It was fine.
I need that game. Boba Fett, like, I want all these,
you actually could be Boba Fett.
I want all these freaking fighters in a fighting game. Like a fighting game, not a first-person shooter.
Then someone stays in the back and just force chokes across the screen and kills you, and you're like, fuck this game.
Exactly. I know that's going to happen, but I want it to happen. I would like it. I would enjoy it. Choke me, Daddy, I would say.
They'd be like, leave. Opponent has left match. You win. That's the 80th time I've said that today. I've won 78 games.
That's
Two
hilarious.
people stayed around and kicked your ass for it.
That's hilarious. Sorry. Okay, EA also announced A Way Out, another zombie game.
Is that good for the recording?
Yes, that's fantastic. BioWare's Anthem, they talked a little bit more about that.
This is how I communicate now, Mom.
Moving on, I'm giving the residual finger to EA because they're stupid, they suck. Sony's press conference. They showed off a new Uncharted game.
DLC.
That's DLC.
But
it looks like a new game.
Yeah, you play that one girl from 3 or 2 or something. His other girlfriend besides his wife or whatever.
Uncharted Tomb Raider DLC, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. It's like, wait, I played Uncharted because it was a boy Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, you get to play Uncharted Lara Croft.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You can do that August 22nd. That was the sound of Erin's head exploding.
Yay!
Another
that was little Erin. Arising from the ashes.
Yay! Hello! I'm here! Horizon Zero Dawn has some DLC coming. The Frozen Wilds.
I'll say it again. Why is E3 about DLC?
Because these games are so freaking high budget now, and they work so hard to make them realistic that it would be 3 years between video games if we got a new game every year. Moving on. Days Gone, I think that's another
zombie game.
Another zombie game.
Zombies and pirates, just mix them, guys.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Zombie pirates. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. It needs to be a video game.
It's just that you're just a pirate ship floating through buoyed zombies because the water has waterlogged them.
That's awesome. So let's see. Monster Hunter World announced for PS4.
Monster Hunter is a good series. That is the first Monster Hunter announced for PlayStation since that one.
Yeah. See, I can't remember one ever being on PlayStation.
There was one that came out on PlayStation, either 2 or 3 or something, a long time ago, and I think they finally are bringing it back to PlayStation.
That's pretty exciting, I think.
Well, yeah, especially with online capabilities, and that game was always about doing the online capabilities.
Yeah.
You know, and just the ideas of taking down those monsters with your friends on a PlayStation finally is pretty cool.
That sounds fun. Maybe you and I can take some monsters down together.
Hey, sure.
Just don't laugh at my female character, named Rwanda. All right. They
On to the next point.
They announced a few VR games for Final Fantasy 15.
Remember, 1/60th of their consumer base.
Yep.
1/60th.
Yeah. Moss, which actually looked really cool. I'd like to see that as a movie rather than a video game. It's basically like Ratatouille. You have a little mouse soldier.
Despero?
Yes.
Because wasn't that a mouse movie?
There was a
Stuart Little?
Star Child VR looks pretty cool.
1/60th.
Again, it's a VR thing that I'm not gonna adopt VR anytime soon. Augmented reality, mixed reality, I could go for that, but not a VR game. It's too antisocial. Not saying that I'm the most social person in the world, but
hey, can I buy you a beer? This is VR. Get away from me.
Anyway, I
don't know if that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't, Aaron. It doesn't.
1/60th, damn it.
Sony also announced they showed off a little bit more on God of War.
Yeah, that's cool.
It looked.
They basically just were like, how can we pump out more Last of Us? Well, you could just, I guess, throw a Kratos skin on Joel. You're on to something, janitor. You're hired. I was just cleaning. Get in here. You're the new brains.
That's awesome. That's what it feels like, right? They have a janitor running things. Detroit Become Human looks like the most boring bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
A lot of people were into that, and I was just like, I don't care.
It looks miserable. It looks so stupid to me. It's like, who cares about stupid androids that think they're human now? Who cares?
Yeah, because we got a Blade Runner movie coming out soon. They should have just made a Blade Runner game.
I know. I don't want it. It's like the animation just looks stupid to me, and the gameplay looks like way too slow and clunky. And,
sorry, I just got a shiver.
Yeah, I thought you were angry at this game.
Like Boss Nass from Phantom Menace.
So they announced a remake for Shadow of the Colossus.
Guess what? Next year. Who cares? Next. No. Yeah, see, this is what I was saying earlier, was Nintendo is the company who is like, yeah, this stuff's coming out this year. This stuff's coming out this year. Of course, Sony announced awesome stuff.
Yeah. But
I don't want to wait till next year, because I don't think that's what E3 is about. E3 is not about next year, because that's what next year's E3 should be about.
Yeah.
That's why it happens halfway through the year, so we know what we're getting for the second half of the year. That's what I think. I don't think it should be about, you got to wait another year, because you know what? I'm going to put money on it. It's going to be delayed.
Yep. I don't think anything Sony announced is coming out this year.
Besides the DLC that they announced.
True. Those are both coming out.
Stupid.
What about Spider-Man? Is that next year, too?
Hey, yeah, next year.
No, fuck it.
Lame, right? Who cares?
Yeah, moving on.
The movie, yeah, I mean, okay, so to the Spider-Man game, if it's anything like Spider-Man 2, the movie game, which most fans will consider to be the best Spider-Man game there's ever been.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good.
Spider-Man 2 was pretty awesome. And based off the comparison, there's a comparison video that shows the original Spider-Man 2 with this new Spider-Man game. And the swinging mechanism is pretty on point. And that's the whole thing, is the swinging mechanism has to be on point. The camera of the swinging mechanism has to be on point. And then also they said that the combat is very much like Arkham City, Arkham Asylum.
Yep.
So that was one of that franchise's selling points was obviously the fighting with the Arkham games.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it, and I know Bo is too.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I played Arkham Knight into the ground. I played that game so much.
Yeah.
I think I got 185% completion, and then the difficulty just got too much for me. I couldn't beat it. I couldn't get that 200%, that game plus completion.
I got the Nightfall ending, the whatever where you got all the Riddler trophies and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got that, but that's it.
Samesies. I did that, and then I did the new game plus.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that.
But it's on Nightmare difficulty. But you start out super fucking overpowered, so it's okay until about halfway through the game, and then it gets like, oh my god, this is hard.
Yeah, I beat the first game, Asylum, on Nightmare. I 100, or I guess in PlayStation terms it'd be platinumed Arkham Asylum.
Nice.
But not City or Night.
So Sony, really everything's coming out next year. I'm pissed off about Shadow of the Colossus. I'm pissed off. Why?
They honestly didn't need to even touch that game.
Why do they peddle this uninspired bullshit? It ticks me off.
Like, don't get me wrong, new graphics are cool, but Shadow of the Colossus is timeless. Like, it's just one of those things that's timeless. Like, so many games want to be that game.
Yep. And now every time you say, I like Shadow of the Colossus, there's going to be an argument about which one you're fucking talking about. And that ticks me off.
The old one or the new one?
That's so stupid. It ticks me off.
I like the VR one.
Shut up, Ron.
Huh, get out of here.
Destiny 2, that's way down the line. Undertale is announced for PS4, but why? Who wants to play it on PS4? Marvel.
I say a lot of people loved that game, but
Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
I'm over fighting games. I've never been into fighting games.
It looks so freaking stupid. That game looks so terrible. Like, why? Just make a Marvel fighting game. Why do you need Capcom characters? They ruin the thing.
Because it's a IP that's come to be loved by so many tournament fighters.
Bullshit.
And button mashers.
Yeah, it's such bullshit. I think that game would be better off if you get rid of the Capcom characters. They ruined the whole thing for me. I won't be playing it. Moving on, everybody's favorite. Well, first of all, I want to talk about Devolver Digital. Did you see their press conference?
No.
It was.
I don't even know what that is.
They're a developer. They make like 3 or 4 games a month, apparently. Yeah, they're crazy.
That's efficiency right there.
Yeah, they got it down pat. But their press conference was mocking the entire thing. They didn't make a single game announcement. Actually, they made one game announcement. But the rest of it was like things like, we have this new machine that when you throw money at the screen, it ends up in our bank account. You there.
You don't say.
Yeah, you there in the crowd. Come up here and try it. And the guy goes up there and tries it, and he's throwing money at the screen, and he's like laughing, like, ha, ha, ha. And then his hand,
this is so fun.
And then his hand gets sucked into it, and it like rips his arm off. And there's blood everywhere.
This seems like an intense company.
Oh, dude.
I don't even know if what you're saying is a joke or real.
No, it is real. It really happened. Then there's one point where that same guy, they call him back up the stage to try another thing. It's called Earliest Access.
What?
Yeah, they're trying to beat everybody else. So we're not offering early access. We're offering Earliest Access. It's like, apparently you can type. They show this thing you can type, and whatever you comment, you're clapping.
Yeah, you said earliest comment, and there's a Simpsons episode that there's a joke in it that always makes me laugh, and it's Homer is in a like a cartoon studio where they draw cartoons, and he goes, "All right, Homer, you're gonna say your lines for this cartoon," And he goes, "Is this live?" And they go, "No, we don't do live cartoons anymore. It's too much of a strain on the artist's wrists."
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. That's it for Devolver. Watch that. That was hilarious. It's not much of a announcement for anything. It was just like a 20-minute, 30-minute skit, and it was fucking hilarious. Okay, so we're going to talk about Nintendo now.
We're back.
We're back. we took a break there. Maybe you noticed. All right, so we mentioned all the games that everybody else talked about, mostly the stupidity of everybody else's stupid press conferences. The only
stupid and subpar. Some of them weren't stupid, but they were kind of like, I can take it, I'll leave it.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's a cool game, but a year and a half away, it's like, ah.
Yeah, who cares? And then it's going to get delayed again, just saying.
Yeah, but... So, one thing that blew my mind right out of the gate, Nintendo announced Rocket League.
You like Rocket League? I've never
Switch.
played it, so I don't know if it's even fun.
I've never played it, but I know that I will play it when it comes to Switch.
One thing that blew me away, Rocket League. Never played it.
I'm so stoked for that. Oh my god, I've heard nothing but great things about that game for PS4. Stoked about it. Another game, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh man, that looks awesome.
Right? How sick does that look?
That looked awesome. I have been wanting to play Xenoblade Chronicles so bad.
For the 3DS?
Yes, 3DS, Wii U, whatever.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah, see, I've never played the first one, but I have seen it, and I've wanted to play it. Watching the trailer for this one, I'm just like, it's so Japanese.
I don't have a new 3DS XL, which is why I haven't gotten Xenoblade Chronicles, but the new 2DS XL is about to come out.
Nice.
And I really want to get one, because I really want to get one, because I want to play all these new games.
Get a Switch.
I lost you. I lost your audio.
Get a Switch. I said get a Switch.
Oh. So wait, I didn't lose your audio? You were just...
I was whispering.
That's messed up.
Get a Switch. Like that.
Who said that?
Yeah. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that looks sick. That's going to be here holiday 2017. That's this year.
This year.
Yep.
Hear that, everyone? Take that to heart every time you watch E3.
Okay, but they did announce some games for the future. So we're talking Yoshi, Kirby, 20 Pokemon, Metroid.
A Pokemon RPG.
Yes, a core Pokemon game.
That is what they are working on in the future for the Switch, which is awesome. Pokken Tournament is coming out this year, but if you see... Sorry, I was just doing some crazy things on
I'm excited.
call.
I'm excited for a Pokemon Switch. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, a lot of people like Pokken Tournament. I never played it. It looked beautiful.
I had been wanting to play it desperately, but it's only for the Wii U. So
it's coming out to the Switch.
If they want to port every Wii U game to the Switch, I don't care.
They're probably going to do that.
I don't mind.
And there's two schools of thought. You could either be like, we've already played these games, or you could be like, I didn't get a Wii U. No one cared.
If you own a Wii U, I can see how you'd be like, oh man, this sucks. But for the majority of us that did not, I'm excited for every game.
The Wii U only sold, 30 million consoles worldwide, 20 million? That's not a lot.
In its entire lifetime. So 3-4 years.
That's nowhere near anything.
Yeah, it's rough. I think Nintendo Switch is going to break it in its first year.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch is doing an amazing job right now. It's kind of like the PS4 after year 1 and 2, or during those times where it was just like bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Best selling console this month, this month, this month, this year, next month, this year, that year.
That said, Nintendo also announced the release date for the Breath of the Wild first DLC, the Master Trials, and that'll be here June 30th. So I have 2 weeks to wait. Only have to wait 2 weeks.
But see, that's nice because they're like, our DLC is coming out in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. Like,
not later this year.
That's how it should be. It should be like, next week, guys, 5 DLCs coming out for 5 different titles, as opposed to going 1 DLC coming out next year. We'll see you then. Peace out. Thanks for the money.
Yeah. So, Fire Emblem Warriors, that looks pretty cool.
That's the Dynasty Warrior one, right?
Yeah,
where it's
I might pass over that one just because the story trailer looked so dumb. It felt like a Disney movie.
The Fire Emblem stories aren't their selling point.
It felt like a Disney movie.
It's the tactics and just the cool character models and the thought behind it. I think that's what sells Fire Emblem to me.
But there's no tactics to a Dynasty Warriors game. It is hack and slash.
That's relaxation and button mashing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably gonna pick up Pokken Tournament. Like day one, I'm gonna pick that one up. I'm waiting to see what happens with ARMS.
Oh, ARMS is getting amazing reviews.
Yeah, they're all
because it's one of Nintendo's newest original IPs, like Splatoon was back on the Wii U, and Splatoon 2 is about to come out. That has a huge player base.
I'm getting that one too. I've always wanted to play Splatoon, but I never had any of the consoles it was on.
Splatoon 2 and ARMS look like fun Nintendo titles that are just that pop art, like just family friendly, but fun. You know what I mean? What Nintendo's known for.
Yeah. So, awesome. So that's pretty much everything. They also announced Metroid remake for the 3DS.
Yes.
So that's
Metroid 2, Samus's Return.
Yeah, the Return of Samus.
And now they got a company by the name of Mercury Stream, or Steam. I cannot remember if the R is there or not. And if some of you may remember them, if you happen to be Castlevania fans out there, they made the Castlevania Lords of Shadows, Mirror of Fates, and those are 2 separate games. Lord of Shadows, Castlevania Mirror of Fate, and I think they made Castlevania Lord of Shadows 2, but I'm not quite sure. I cannot remember.
So they've got
those
that
were all
team.
Fun games.
That team is the one that's doing the Return of Samus.
Yes, they are doing the remake of it, because Return of Samus is actually an old game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That they just updated, got a new engine in it.
Was it like
it looks fun, man. It looks like a nice return to that Metroid that we all know and love.
Yeah, I'm so excited for a Metroid Prime 4, man. I'm so stoked for that.
And speaking of that, Metroid Prime 4, but it's not done by the same company that did the first 2. It's done by a whole new company, a up-and-coming company. I don't even think they've released the name of the company who's doing it yet.
Awesome.
But that's who's been working on it. So, some people may be like, oh, no, it's not going to be good. Some people are excited.
I think what Nintendo did this E3 is they basically came out and they told everyone, we're listening to what you have to say.
Yeah. See, in the past, Nintendo hasn't won E3 for like years now. And of course, when I use win, it's a subjective term. You know what I mean? That's just what I think. Some people, some Microsoft fanboys, some Sony fanboys, everyone, they think differently. But I'm not saying I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but overall, I think Nintendo really hit the mark on this one and showed exactly what we want, which is games this year. Mm-hmm. What's the word I'm looking for? Callbacks to original IPs from your past, like Metroid. Like retro gaming is huge, dude. It's a huge thing that a lot of the companies have yet to kind of hit the nail on the head, but they're starting to. You know what I mean? Because games are coming out of the woodwork from the retro area. Like I don't know if you've seen this, but Bubsy, which is an old game that was, I think, out on the Sega a long time ago. And it was in the vein of all those 90s like mascots that were coming out, like Sonic and all that stuff. And he's like a cat that wears a T-shirt. And
awesome.
His original game was kind of a Sonic clone, but it was bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. It sucked, but it wasn't horrible. And then he made the venture to Sony PlayStation 1. with a game called Bubsy 3D, and that is like one of the worst games ever created in the history of video games. So everyone thought Bubsy died.
But he's back.
But he's back. And some company who's making it now has a pretty solid track record for making games. So
cool.
It's going to be a 2.5D platformer.
Cool. So,
and I mean, anyway, but you know, regardless, retro gaming is huge. A lot of people want callbacks. Like,
yep.
I bet you Spyro coming out on the PS4, I bet if that happened, people would lose their minds.
And it's like a realistic dragon, like from Elder Scrolls.
but it's still that Spyro. Well, that might lose people. They'd be like, "What the fuck?" No, but Spyro coming in with those nice graphics where you see his scales and stuff like that.
I want a VR game, Glover.
Dude, that's so funny. I saw Glover today where I was. I saw the N64 card of it.
That's sick.
And I was just like, wow, I remember that game. Anyway, you forgot to mention like one of the top things, dude. What did you forget?
Super Mario Odyssey.
Ah!
What? Dude, and he can like get it? Capture.
Yeah.
You can throw your hat and take over.
Super Mario Odyssey looked just like a good time.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like Super Mario 64 with amazing graphics.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the same mechanisms are there from, mechanics. Whatever, probably the same crap. Same word I'm looking for. Synonyms. Anyway, it had so many things that looked like it called back to Super Mario 64.
Yeah. And
it sold me on that alone, and especially when there were scenes where, like, Mario dresses up like he's in a safari on a desert planet, and there's ice growing out of the desert planet, so it's already really weird.
It's awesome. And then he's wearing a sombrero.
He can throw his hat at things and basically become them. Like, the hat is on, like, a bomb or something.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the gameplay videos from E3?
Yeah, I just watched one last night for it. It was 11 minutes of gameplay.
Did you see where they're like switching between 3-dimensional and 2D gaming?
Yes.
How cool is that?
Oh my god! Classic 8-bit Mario.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for this game.
Dude, that's gonna be so fun. That might have sold me even more on the Switch because I did want to play Breath of the Wild. I'm not as big of a Zelda fanboy as a lot of people, but I do love me some Mario.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm so excited. So excited. Sonic Forces as well coming to the
Sonic
Switch.
Forces, the only thing that scares me about Sonic Forces is there hasn't been a good Sonic game in about 20 years.
Yep.
because I don't think Sonic really transitions that well into 3D. Don't get me wrong, I did like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on Dreamcast, but that was a whole different game. They're trying to do different stuff, just like with Sonic Unleashed, like all those Xbox 360 games and stuff that came out. They just sucked. They just were not good.
Yeah.
But maybe Sonic Forces will change the mold or something like that.
I'm
hopeful because I do like Sonic as a Sega mascot. He's classic. Attitude, his attitude needs to come back.
Yep.
To where he's like,
he's such a cool ass.
He's like, you're not moving the controller. He's tapping his foot. He's like, come on, dude.
Awesome. You know. Something I thought was really missing in Nintendo's presentation: Super Smash Bros. Man.
People were wondering if they were going to port over, if they were going to announce the port of the Super Smash Bros. Wii U.
That's all I want.
And port it over to the Switch. That's what a lot of people are hoping for, because it's like, well, you technically don't have to make a new game.
Yeah, just give it to us. That's all I want. Bring all the extra characters you added. Throw them in. Give me the game. I'm happy.
Did you play the 3DS one?
I did, and I loved it. I played the crap out of that game. Yeah.
I never played it, so I don't know.
I played the crap out of that game. It was a lot of fun. They had like I call it Road to the Show, just because I don't know, but it's like a. Is that a baseball game reference? Yes, but it's like it's like a story mode sort of that you go through, and you can take different paths and fight different people, and you go all the way to the final boss, which is either the hand or the double hands, depending on how hard you're playing. You can change the difficulty, and the difficulty scales as you go, and like you earn rewards, like how to customize.
Cool.
You can use to customize your character and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. I think on a Switch game, I want to see the ability to do like what Injustice did, where you can like change their outfits to the point where it actually changes the way they look.
What if you could give Mario Sonic shoes?
Dude.
Like you could, and it makes Mario really fast or something like that.
Amazing.
Everyone can wear Sonic shoes.
Amazing. But so that's about it, I think. For
Yeah, I mean that basically covers it. Of course, there are a few things we left out and things like that. Shadow of War, which is a
I did miss that
Lord
one
of the Rings
entirely.
game.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever play Shadow of Mordor?
I played the crap out of Shadow of Mordor so much that I platinumed it.
Nice. Are you looking forward to Shadow of War?
I'm looking forward to it for a multitude of reasons, and I don't think one of them is what you'd expect. And probably the thing I least consider when I'm being excited for that game is this takes place in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because they've messed the timeline up with that game.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit into the timeline of Lord of the Rings very well.
Oh yeah, I look at it as its own world entirely.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, of course you could go, oh, it's Mordor, it's Sauron. See, that's all the stuff that it could be, and that would make a great, Lord of the Rings game, because you got the orcs, the Uruk-hai, the trolls, you got Sauron, you got all those stuff. But when they start incorporating things like Sauron's hand, Sauron's mouth, Sauron's tower, and it's a dude who grows, but he's in his armor, so he can't grow anymore, and he's in pain constantly. I'm like, that is not Lord of the Rings. That's like Batman. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a fun game. I like playing it, but I view it as something else.
Yeah.
Of course it uses the name Mordor's and stuff, which is cool and all, but it doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings, but it feels like a badass fucking game.
Yep. That's going to be a cool one. I do want to see more
Excuse the French, but it's just a fun game, man.
Cool. And I think
and of course people say, "Oh, it's just a reskinned Assassin's Creed." I would play Shadow of Mordor over Assassin's Creed any day.
Yeah, same. I like the how the enemies kind of are generated in the game.
The Nemesis system.
Yeah, that's badass, man. I love
Dude, that and see, here's the thing. You and I play that game. Your playthrough is not going to be anywhere close to mine. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's like, the end from point A to point B is going to be different. But, of course, point A, the start, and point B, are going to be linear, of course. Like, oh, we'll go beat Sauron again.
Yeah.
Acquire an army and beat Sauron's army, of course. But everything in between there, the castle names, who they're ruled by, the names of the orcs, everything is different between you and me, between me and someone else around the world. Everyone has a different outcome with that game, which is so awesome.
Cool. So I think...
and it has RPG elements like armor, weapons. It finally added stuff to help. It expounded upon what it already made. And of course, when you play the original game, it kind of feels a little bare bones sometimes, because you're like, this thing didn't even have like a real title menu, like a main menu. It was just kind of like, you know what I mean? But anyway, fabulous game, good game. Excited to play it this year, or later this year.
Shadow of War?
Yeah, October
It looks
11th.
like it looks like it's really far along. October is looking to be the month for video games. That's honestly what it's been for a long time, because I think all the Arkham games came out in October. Yeah, it's gonna be insane. So with that, we're pretty much out of time.
Okay.
And when I say pretty much, the show is nearing an hour and a half long.
Hey, our longest show to date.
Now, so just to recap some of the games, The Last Night, NIGHT, that's definitely one to be checked out. Ashen looks cool. Cuphead, it remains to be seen if that will land on other platforms. Beyond Good and Evil 2, maybe. We need to see some gameplay from that. Wolfenstein 2, maybe. I'll play it if it comes to Switch. Let's see. BioWare's Anthem, another one to watch. That could be cool. Shadow of the Colossus remake. Spider-Man looks incredible. Let's see. Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles, and Shadow of War. So,
what he said.
That's
remember, 1/60th of Sony's. I'm going to reiterate this until everyone freaking knows this crap. 1/60th of their consumer base, and that was the majority of crap.
No, what it is they're making games for their VR platform to try to convert their other customers into buying their $500 VR package. That's what it is.
Leave me alone, Sony.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm. So they're not necessarily marketing games to the people that are already there. They could give a shit less.
We don't care. We've already been fooled.
Yep, they're marketing the entire VR platform for their already existing customers. That's what they're doing. And it's bullshit. It sucks, and that's why you should watch the Devolver Digital. Tomorrow's unethical business practices today.
When I said you've already been fooled, I really wanted to go. And now Eternia will be mine, He-Man.
That we need to end on that. That's it. We're done. We're done. Check out www.spectrum, T-R-E-M, spectrumsci-fi.com. Yeah. Like us on Facebook. Leave some comments. Tell us you love us. That's all we got. Say bye, Aaron.
Eternia is mine, He-Man!